What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. It's the SHEEBA Podcast. You already know your place for everything melanated, everything magic, and everything black girls care about. Black artists in the building, brown babes, brown sugar, chocolate bunnies. You know, this is the vibes. This is what we're doing. Yes, SHEEBA's big purr, okay? So I'm coming around, already know we got Jermaine music in the building. We got OMG Colin in the building. And then we got a special guest. You know how we do. We got tell us who you are.
My name's Cosmo Raps. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, and producer.
Woo.
So get at me.
Hey. We got Cosmo in the building.
I like it.
Special too.
You
got all the skills,
all day. Yeah, and
It sounds like a one-woman band.
One
band, one son.
Yes.
One woman studio.
Yes.
Just all around.
Everything.
She engineers, she mixes, she does some video and photography work, she writes, she produces like she's a Swiss Army knife, for real.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just gonna hop into the topic of today.
So basically, we all are artists and we do music, and basically, I wanted to know. I actually seen this on the Shade Room. JT basically, she was on there and she was, talking about her accomplishments, and then I guess Beyonce reached out to her and was telling her how good she did, and she just felt like she took to her Instagram. She was like, "Oh, bitches, I made it." Oh. So like for you as an artist, and you're doing music, and we're all coming up, right? I feel like we're all still coming up. I didn't get my plateau yet. Okay. But like in your how would you feel if you're, on the come up still? Like, are you one of those type of people that feel like, oh, if a Beyonce or a Rihanna or whoever you look up to in the industry, if they said something to you, do you feel like you're stamped and I'm officially on because they said something? Or do you think that just by your own just willingness to work hard and do everything on your own and get there, like, is that enough?
I feel like if a top artist like that is like singling you out and saying like, oh, you're dope and stuff like that, I feel like for me, I would feel like I made it, but at the same time, I wouldn't feel like I'm all the way there because they're still higher than me and I achieved to get to that status. So that's how I see that. What was the second part? I'm sorry.
Basically, do you feel like that's like your plateau? Like, cause like, I was coming at it from a standpoint of, for me, I feel like I did everything to get here. Like, Beyonce wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Like, her stamp of approval means something, and it could possibly make other people, catch on to you or catch your wave because she said something. However, I got to these accomplishments. Like, say for instance, if I was JT from the City Girls and I made, my own way here, Beyonce didn't get me here. However, like, there's kind of like a God complex around certain artists that big, and it's just like, oh, well, if they didn't say that I'm top notch, then I'm not that. And I don't feel like that for me. I feel like, we are all our own in our own right, and we all, sometimes there's different levels of success. Like, I might want to be a Rihanna type of successful, which is totally different from a Beyonce type, successful, you know what I mean? Like, we are all on different levels. Like, I honestly don't really like the comparison thing. However, but I wouldn't feel like I was stamped if one of them people said something, because if I'm already on the radar of your fans and your people, you got your own, I feel like, okay, I would appreciate it because not every day they would say that, but I don't feel like, oh, my world, like,
I didn't see the Shade Room post, but I mean, I get it because everybody is part of the Beehive, so I understand her exclaim and like happiness around it. Similar to Cosmo and you, I feel like you guys feel you said the exact same thing.
Well, no, I was saying a little bit different.
Oh, but like similar to y'all, I would feel very, very special that she shouted me out. That wouldn't be like, oh, I made it, because I mean, if I were JT, I'd be like, I already
oh,
did
no,
it.
she
like,
was like, the way that I read it, it was kind of like, I don't have to do nothing else, like, I made it, like, Beyonce, and I'm like,
that's cute. I
I don't
even
fangirl
read
over
it.
artists
I
like
don't
that.
I don't read it like that, but that's what
Yeah.
I would take it as. Like, she's a big
You know what?
Beyonce fan, and if you're a huge fan of somebody, like, if they big up you. Yeah, that feels special, but no, that wouldn't be the end all be all. I'm gonna pick
Got
a
your
little.
foot in
She
the
wasn't
door,
shooting with me in the gym. She wasn't there with wiping my tears or rubbing my feet or in the studio. You know what I mean?
Right.
She could be there eventually. But
I think this is so funny because we know a person who actually got some, a shout out from Beyonce.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, honey, she was, and I love you, Cash, okay? But when I tell you, sis was in the pool, how you float on the pool when Beyonce how you glide down the steps when Beyonce shouts your record, like, I got it.
I love
It was great content to watch, but she was just like, yo, this is, yes, mother has noticed me down here and lifted me up amongst the commoners. Like she was, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would probably be a little bit like, you know what?
Feel like you're a little. I'm up there now.
You know what?
I might pee myself a little bit.
I am somebody. Like I always thought I was somebody, but now like.
Right, let me go back to work. Let me go back to work.
Like a super fan of anybody. I don't know. So I don't I get it from everybody else's standpoint, but I just I don't freak out. Like I've never
I want to freak.
Oh my.
No, I'm chill with it. I'm chill with it.
I'll sneak my little picture or something. Like I'm not about to be like, oh my God, Lord, I'm getting ready to have a heart attack. She just touched me. I'm not rinsing off my arm. Oh no, it's people out there. I'm not rinsing off my arm for a year. She touched me. Like no, that ain't me. But then there's that, like I said, there people put that pedestal there, and it's just like, man, I've made it. Like, man, Rihanna, she done said everything I need to say. I don't need nobody to whisper to me nothing else again. Rihanna just made my life. I'm like, bruh, you ain't even hit the plateau of where you going. Like, what you doing?
Right.
Cause don't get caught there, cause then you gonna be stuck in like the 90s. And next thing you know, you're gonna be done withered away. Cause people's attention span these days as artists, bruh. You can be hot today and gone tomorrow. They
That's
like, what
why
happened to so and so?
Switches up like her hair, right?
It's a great confidence boost, though. I feel like
No,
as an artist,
absolutely.
if Beyonce was to shout me out, I feel like I'm the shit. Like, and it'll make me want to grind even more. Like, it would make me want to just shoot for the top because I want to be in her spot. I want to take her spot and be above her. So if she was to shout me out, I'm gonna feel like I'm your favorite artist. What you talking about? I know it's have to be in that confidence, but like bracket of her. But like, I'm not gonna feel like, oh, I'm better than everybody else. I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm a hard worker and I'm gonna continue to work hard.
But did you feel like?
It's gonna be the biggest. You gonna feel like this, but I'm not gonna feel like I'm like just better than everybody. Because at the end of the day,
I know you. You don't feel like
at the end of the day, it's just gonna make me want to grind even more. Like I'm gonna feel like I'm better than
Did you not feel like that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the shit, but at the same time, every artist has those doubts in their mind or those days where they feel down. And to have an artist that big sit there and see you and notice you, it's gonna like always remembering that like Beyonce sat there and shouted me out. Whereas there's people out there, she don't even know who they are and they're working, you know what I'm saying? So I want to work as hard as before she said something. Because Beyonce is not my favorite artist. Like my favorite artist is dead. So I can never get that validation from my favorite artist. So I'm gonna take it where I get it. So if Beyonce say something to me, I'm gonna wild out just because of who Beyonce is and her status, not of like because she's my favorite artist or nothing like that, but I'm just gonna want to grind harder so that she can continue to see me because I've seen people, she posts them and it's like, oh wow, they're dope, never see them again, they're nobody, because they get that and then they think I'm here, I got it, and they get comfortable, and once you get comfortable, you lose it.
Comfortability,
That's why I don't ingest it that way.
And you know what?
I just be like, I'll be like, oh, that's dope.
Me,
Cool,
hold on.
I'm keeping on keeping.
To your point about fangirling, I can attest that Cosmo actually does the opposite. She gets quiet because I was there when she met the person closest to her favorite artist, and she's like,
I just
talk to me. The Cosmo talk. That's crazy.
I'm crying. Throw me out
I
there.
know. So I did have to call you out about that. That was really funny. So we can all relate. As I would think that she would fangirl a little bit, but no, she a little calm. She a little calm.
Speaking of artists that we idolize, I have to ask this, and this is not necessarily about the Beyonce question, but I just want to know, as an artist and as a woman and as a female artist, how do you guys feel about performing and or listening to artists like Michael Jackson and R. Kelly?
For me,
Where
Michael
you
Jackson, I love and still adore and listen to now. The other one is a little harder because I know what the intent was behind listening.
Right.
And I just be like, wait a minute, this was about a 15-year-old. I just feels a little weird. However, I'm not OD like turn that off. No, I'm not that anal. But if you like, I don't just go to my Spotify and put in no R. Kelly. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. Because whether we realize it or not, that's still a form of support. And that money will still translate over to his account. So it pays something at the end of the day. Like, we put all of these bills unintentionally, if you know what I mean. Like, these artists get paid unintentionally just by a listen, just by me turning it on. So it's like, I don't even really get that deep in it, but I'm not like super turning it off. Like, I'm not listening to it, but I'm like, I'm not the first one that's gonna be in the party like, yo, turn that R. Kelly, turn that Now Michael Jackson's something different. I just don't believe that story, but that's me.
For me, I grew up listening to R. Kelly from like the older people in my family, but like I'm not the type of person like how you said, like I'm not the type of person that's just gonna like, oh, let's listen to R. Kelly. Like there's certain songs I didn't even know were by him. You know what I'm saying? That like I grew
wrote
up with.
a lot of stuff. Our favorite artists.
So you gotta like look deep into that and figure out like it's a lot. So I just don't personally listen to his music. I like that. I'm not really just a fan of him. Michael Jackson is different because like with that I grew up with his legacy and everything that he built. With him and R. Kelly being compared like musically to me isn't a comparison.
Well, I don't think it's the music part.
But that's
she's comparing.
But I know it's not the music part, but I'm saying like musically it's not a comparison. So when you think about like would I still support Michael Jackson, it's like I don't know, because it's like with everything that came up, it came up kind of after he died, so he didn't even have a chance to like defend himself. I know there was allegations before he had passed away too, but like nothing got stuck, you know.
Nothing stuck. Whereas this one, he's been behind.
So it's like we don't really know for certain all the stories, and I know there are like I do believe a lot of people who say like if something happened to them, but at the same time there are people out there who are looking for money. Right. So you know it's really just play by play for me.
Cool.
Yeah, what about you, Kyle?
Oh man, alright. That's my cracked phone, y'all. Don't mind that.
It's another crack.
So, for me, it's difficult for me because, well, it's not difficult. Let me just answer R. Kelly. No, it's easy. Boom, 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 boom. Easy. I didn't know, similar to I think it was you, I didn't know how many songs he had touched, no pun intended. And I just didn't know how like far his reach. Oh, let me stop.
Are you me today?
I'm not meaning to do. I think so. And interestingly enough, one of my close friends went to that high school, McDonald's, and she knew all of this stuff. So I've heard the stories. Fast forward, and when I'm around people, I ask them to turn it off because I am actively like I don't want to hear that man at all because I can't disassociate with Michael Jackson. To be honest, I think given my personal life or my professional life, I do see the value in what these people are saying, and I would hate to discredit them just because of a documentary. I feel like there are some truths, and I'm being completely honest. And for me personally, I love Michael Jackson. Like I grew up learning the dance moves, like sitting there with my twin and my older brother. We would like be working it out, learning the dance moves. I can sing all the songs, but for me, it's I'm still, I don't know, I'm still working through, I'm still processing, I'm still at odds with myself, because I still listen to his music and I'll turn it off like R. Kelly, but then I'm not like as quick to turn him on, because it's still like, I'm confused. I'm confused. And interestingly enough, at the trial in the 2000s, my sister's friend was the girl who released the doves, or like was standing next to the girl who released the doves. Did y'all know that? Go back. They were like, I was a child too.
So like, some of y'all already know this, but some of y'all watching might not actually know, or listening might not actually know. I sing for a company, wedding band company, whatever. So, some of the clients have asked, like, do all the Michael Jackson you can, and then some of the clients are like, yo, we do not listen to any Michael Jackson or any R. Kelly, unless it's Jackson 5. Please, play the Jackson 5. Just not Michael Jackson. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's weird because, if you don't want to hear it, that's fine. But one thing I'm going to do is rock with you all night to the sunlight. I mean, okay. One thing we not going to do is blame it on the boogie. One thing you need to know is I'm bad. Okay?
Yeah, one of my favorite movies is Moonwalker.
Yes, because, that's really what it is in my life. It's like, I will admit this. It's probably not even healthy, but I do not, I don't believe them kids. Okay? That's what I don't believe them kids. Now, we watched R. Kelly pee on them other kids, so there's nothing we can say about that. But
I forgot that happened.
So that just kind of is what it is, and when I'm in that, I can dissociate between the music and the man in that instance. But in the case of Michael Jackson, first of all, y'all are gonna stop doing that to my play cousin. Like that's just how I feel. It's probably not right, and I feel a little fucked up about it. But
right, it's difficult. Like,
can I play something for y'all? This is
yes.
This is where this question even came from.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's like I keep on finding myself in these fucking situations where, like, a playlist will play like an R. Kelly song, like an old R. Kelly song. I'll be somewhere and they'll play like an old R. Kelly song, and like my foot immediately starts tapping. That was my shit. And then like a minute in, like, I forgot I can't listen to this nigga like ever again. Like, because I have a daughter and he's a terrible, notorious pedophile, and I saw the fucking piss on your tape. Like, this shit sounds so fucking good. Like, even with all that information, it still sounds so fucking like hard to not like just pop your head and move your shoulders a little bit when you hear that shit. Like, you hear certain songs, it's like, oh, I heard this. She turned the radio up a little bit. Like, oh fuck, I forgot he pisses on babies. Like, you really fucked up because like a lot of your shit was a fucking soundtrack to my goddamn life, and I can't even fucking hear this shit no more. And damn it, it sounds amazing. You talented monster. God damn, you really fucked this. You know what I mean? Cookout music, wedding shit, you know what I mean? Kid shit, all types of shit. Nigga, I can't even believe I can fly no more because you fucking pissed
I feel him. I definitely feel him. I've been caught up at the bar. Like, wait. Oh, got me again.
As real
as real as it gets.
Because he definitely made a point to say that he does have records for every event. Graduations, weddings, reunions.
Yeah.
He got all kind of stuff. So it's like, how do you not? But then it's like, I'm not the first that's going to ask for it. But now if it's mixed in there and step, side to side, damn it!
Why
did you do that, baby?
We just did that, yeah.
Oh, see what I'm talking about? Like, so it is hard to disassociate that situation. But Michael Jackson, y'all gonna have to come a little harder with that. The evidence wasn't strong enough for me.
Yeah, okay, and even though
I know what I had saw, my eyes didn't lie when I saw R. Kelly.
Even though the guy is a grown man now, when he did the documentary, and he's just like telling him how.
Which one?
I forget which for Michael, but he's on the thing. Yeah, you know, he just played with my asshole, and it's just like no grown man wants to say that, right? Like no grown man wants to have to admit that. But I'm still like.
But then again, look at the guys from Tiger King.
Michael Jackson. And
Yeah, but as women, as artists, as parents, as caretakers and sisters and, you know, aunts and cousins, like,
I'm listening to Michael, I ain't listening to R. Kelly.
I don't have any excuse for myself. Like, I don't. I mean, listen, Michael made the best denying paternity song you could ever have. I mean, how do you write? He's the effing genius.
She said it's not mine.
He was like, the kid is not my son.
Blatantly.
And then put it in the record. Like, put it on wax. And we still dance to it. Like, you are amazing. If you did not, I mean, yeah, it was me. I was there. I did that thing.
I did that.
You know.
That ain't
But
my son.
that wasn't my time I did that. That wasn't me that time.
Dirty Diane, how do you write a song about how a woman made you not go home to your woman and had to, and she was crazy too because she called the girl like he's not coming back, he's sleeping with me. How do you put that on a record? Like as a man, he did. Listen, I don't
That's
have
a
any.
sexy ass song too. I love. That's like one of my favorite Michael songs.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like it's safe to say Michael ain't going nowhere. R. Kelly, you're out of here.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard for people, at least my age, to like not listen to R. Kelly, because like a lot of songs y'all singing, I ain't heard in
But
years.
y'all don't
forgot
know
about them.
that. But y'all don't. You don't.
It's all
You don't even
intermixed.
realize how much he wrote.
Right.
But hold up, though, because
Because
I'm that
right.
far from your generation,
I know,
though. She's trying to say that like I'm a fossil. If anything, I would be more inclined to be closer to R. Kelly because Michael was just coming out of his like he couldn't
His
really
retirement.
Yeah, he could, but he couldn't really translate over as you know pop started to move in a way after like the 2000s. So
Yeah.
like.
Listen.
R. Kelly was able to still keep going because he came out with the pop, all that. That was like 2000s, all of that. So I would be more inclined. It's just that after I saw them documentaries, and I saw how deep it was. And then also I've been and heard about girls that I know, like you know, with 50 Cent and just them rappers that come to town. That they come to town and they slut these girls out behind stage.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
They do.
I done missed the whole thing looking at who R. Kelly wrote for now. Come on, catch me up.
No, I'm just saying like it's his situation and you know him having the backing of people that cover up for his situation.
Right.
I understand how it worked when the documentary was broken down. I'm like, oh, I know girls who then went to right there to the Susquehanna Center and got slurred out by this rapper and they security guards and then been riding around in an Uber. So I know this stuff happens. So R. Kelly being who he is not believable. I know that I know that thing probably happened.
That's how I stand for Michael. Like all these to me it makes sense.
For me,
And
it doesn't
his-
make sense because
And how he was raised, you know, all the backstory. The only thing for what I feel is like the blockade for everybody now, like the disc or like why it's hard for for me to fully commit is like how the stories came about, right? And who it was and how long it was and when they chose to talk about it. But to that point, like that's when media decided to like air about it to me. I feel like he's been saying this for years. Like I remember this guy,
what?
the dancer guy. I remember him. He's been saying this for years.
What about Michael?
Mm-hmm. And the other guy was too. It's just nobody really paid attention. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's so many things that played a part.
But I feel like if you felt like these were these people and monsters, why did you still stay around them?
And parents too. Their parents were also
that's super tough, and this is where I'm gonna actually.
That's not fair to like
it's
those people
super
who
tough.
have been abused.
It's super tough. It's like, why did you stay? I mean,
You're
my
stubborn.
life. I was making money. Hello,
You're
I was
also
living,
stubborn.
and it's difficult to be like, you should divorce everything positive that you gain from this situation because of this other very valid thing. So it's like, when people are in situations like that and they have to choose their livelihood or their dignity, a lot of people choose their livelihood, not their dignity.
Right.
It's
It's
just
like
depends the
yeah.
person, because I
Yeah.
don't give a damn what you got, what it means to what if this ain't conducive to what I got going on. I've done walked away from a millionaire. I walked away from someone at their
Right.
height of their
Right.
life.
Right.
And I was content, and I said, you know what? The decision that I made today is going to be everything for tomorrow. And it was a blessing in disguise, me walking away from that, because that person's folks, they said a fool and their money will soon part. And that's exactly how it dwindled down over the years. And so I don't feel like I missed anything. I don't feel like my life, it would have been better or worse without them. No. And that's why I wrote Broken, actually. That's how that song came about, because that
Origin
person,
story.
right, to bring that full circle. Broken came about because it was like you thought I was going to be broken up without you, or the things that you thought that you provided for me or was doing for me. No, I was actually better, and no, I'm not broken. I'm not sitting around broken because that's what you thought I was going to do, like any other female that would be in a position of getting money and having this certain lifestyle around you. No, I was like the rose that grew from the thorn bowl, like the concrete. There we go. So like, when I thought about the rose from the ashes, I was thinking about
Phoenix from the ashes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That's what I was thinking about.
Y'all get your mythology together.
Yeah, that thing. So like I rose up from that situation, and I ended up in a better mental situation. I might not be the richest. I might not have came around that same amount of money, but now there's peace. And then I also learned, because you know how people, they take what other people go through as far as like money situations, and they make excuses for why people act like banshees with money, especially black people. I now can disassociate that and say, no, I've been around someone with money, and I've been around and had pocketbooks full of money. And I've lived that lifestyle, and $1 million isn't a lot of money. But I just learned just differently how to cope with things. But let's hear from you, Cosmo.
So how I feel about that is with people who are in those situations, not all of them really know how to survive without that person. They're dependent upon them. So, and they could have been like brainwashed in the sense of they feel like they need this person, and without this person they're nobody. So it's not as easy for everybody to leave the situation, especially if their whole life is built around it. So I respect people who still stay, but at the end of the day, like a lot of times when a lot of these allegations come up after the person's either deceased or somebody else has stepped up, it's because it's easier. You have this backing, you have this support, because if you're going against somebody who's a millionaire, like in a sense, say the person you was with is
Or social influence.
Yeah, like million followers. $1 million, $1 million followers, basically the same thing nowadays. So it's like if you were in that relationship and this person's like beating you, doing all kinds of things to you, and then at the end of the day they're telling you they love you and this, that, and the third, and you feel dependent on them because without them you have nothing. Like they bought your car, your clothes, everything you have, and without them you're on the streets. It's like, how could you really leave that, if you don't have that family backing or that social support from your friends or anybody like that? If this is the only person you have, how can you like not respect them for staying in that situation until they can find a way to get out? Everybody's situation is different, and a lot of people don't have that strong mindset like you do. Because I really respect your story, and it's a beautiful story, and I respect your mindset, but not everybody is like that. Some people are completely codependent and do not know how to survive when they're home.
And that was to my point too. The reason why I brought that up is because in talking about if we're being specific to Michael Jackson, these people were also children at that time, and children cannot make a sound decision. That was my point. The family backing was not actually on their side. They were on Michael's side, especially. I mean, they showed that to you in the documentary too. So that would make it tenfold harder to actually like speak your truths, tell you how uncomfortable you are. It's apparently their first sexual experience. Let's just talk about that's trauma, trauma, more trauma. You can't even go to the people who you trust to take care of you and love you.
No, I get it. When it comes to children, I get it. When it comes to, I respect to an extent, because now we gon' like, if this was the 80s or something where there wasn't as much information out there, then I'd be more inclined.
It was the 80s and 90s.
And 90s,
No, I'm talking about where we are today, my
Gotcha.
mindset of respecting somebody that stays now
Gotcha.
opposed to when it happened then.
Gotcha.
Like now it's too much information out here. We got the internet, we got books, we got people of that this information is there on, you know, you don't build your infrastructure based off of somebody, and if you do, you still have to have your
I'm
own.
gonna do is stash the money.
Yeah, you. What about a rainy day?
I'm
Like
skimming.
you. I don't live life like that. Like I'm not even one of them type of people that can, like cash out my entire account and be like, oh well, I'm getting paid next week. No, I got to make sure on the savings side there's still something because I can't do that. I can't do that. No, I can't live life like that. That's too much of a gamble and a risk.
It's
Because
stressful.
what about if I get fired before the next paycheck come and then boom, ain't no more money. And I done cleared out my savings fucking around at the casino. I can't do that. I can't do that. No, I don't live life on the edge like that. But you know what I mean? Like if I was in a position and it, you know, say use my situation again, like if that was, and you know, I come from a bad background or whatever, and I use that situation to get out. Still, I don't trust people like that. So the not trusting in me, I'm just like, at any day this can crash. So I'm still gonna be putting away. I'm gonna put this in the tuck just in case this don't work out. Plus, let me see how I can funnel him into an idea that brings about something for myself. So that I'll still have this thing going on, whether you go or you know or you stay. But I'm gonna make sure this thing that I create that is sustainable for when you do leave. Like it's not gonna be in your name; it's gonna be in my name. You're not buying me no like if you decide to buy me jewelry or something like that, it ain't gonna be in your name. It's gonna be in mine.
Or work permit.
Or, and even with that same methodology, like, I don't think I can say that word. Anyway, even with that same, like, if you do it that way, it may not, like, he may be a really good guy, or your situation may really actually be working out, but it's still smart to, like, you know what I'm saying, have your own thing so that maybe something happens to that other person and you can, you know what I'm saying, carry the weight or, like, float it or, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case. It don't always necessarily have to be with the intention to leave, but let me let you know. I'm gonna have you.
I'm prepared.
We skimming.
Yeah.
I got
Storage locker full of furniture.
Okay, because I have a friend and I remember talking to my friend and I'm saying, yeah, you need to start putting these checks that you get, these little checks, put them in a separate account. And sis was like, wait, I could do that? I was like, please do that. Please have you a separate account with your own money.
Never be completely dependent on somebody.
Never.
But when you're in a situation like these kids were, you know what I'm saying, they don't have agency over their own money. They're not really telling their parents what's going on. They don't, you know, have like the wherewithal or knowledge.
Like
you know
the
what I'm saying? And if that's how you are that's how you grow up. That's a little bit different. So I do respect you bringing that up. As far as what their capabilities were at the time. That's a very, very valid point.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway.
We are
Way to end on
winding
that.
up. Yeah. Let's wind this up.
I think it was a good talk today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
I did.
Thank you, Cosmo, for coming today.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell people again what your Instagram is? Where they
It
can
is
find you?
at Cosmo Raps, CosmoRaps.
Damn. Follow her.
Hello, is that that's you on the gram?
The gram, TikTok, Instagram, everything is Cosmo Raps. If you want to email me, if you do that, CosmoRapsOfficial@gmail.
Okay. Official. So we are getting out of here. This is us.
Yes.
Signing off.